Hello, Happy New Year. Welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Dara O'Brien. Well, the news since we've been away. There was widespread condemnation when footage of Saddam Hussein's hanging ended up on YouTube, though not as much as when the rope turned up on eBay. A lot of people in Britain were appalled to hear that Saddam had been hung. The word is hanged. In Australia, England were humiliated in the Ashes, but cricketer Monty Panesar won the Beard of the Year award for 2006. After his main rival fell through a trapdoor with just one day to go. Shane Warne particularly enjoyed the Ashes series. The Australians won 5-0, and he claimed his 700th victim, a barmaid from Sydney. There was a lot of arguments over England's selection process. Of all the teams to play, why pick Australia? See, the last time England lost the Ashes in a whitewash was in 1921, but at least that time they had a decent excuse. The first 11 had all been killed at the Somme. What, too soon, is it? Oh, but Saddam, yeah, that's fine. With the expansion of the EU, many Bulgarians and Romanians have travelled to Britain in search of work, only to be turned back at Dover by the UK's Polish border guards. Joining me tonight are 6 of the funniest men working in the UK at the moment. Give it for Andy Parsons, David Mitchell, Russell Howard, Frankie Boyle, Hugh Dennis and Mark Watson. Welcome to the show. Our first round is called Headliners. Here's a picture of Tony Blair taking a break from office recently. So, what does BBGF stand for?
Is it Blair's boobs go flabby?
It's harsh, it's harsh.
Is it Blimey, Blair's got fat?
Is he saying
it's right that you don't laugh at that because I am fatter than him. I am mocking a more important and thinner man.
Is it Blair? Oh, sorry, go on, Mark.
No, go on, you go on.
Oh, thanks.
No!
Very much.
Yeah, that's so polite.
Come on, let's have a kiss. Is it? There's a lot of pressure on mine to be funny now.
Is it?
Thank you, Andy.
Yeah, go on, Andy.
I've saved you now. What do you want to say?
I'll do it in your voice, it'll be fine. Is it? Blair borrows Gibbs' fiancée?
Ironically, that was exactly what I was about to say.
Still wrong.
Or is it big breasts, gorgeous figure?
Yes.
You know, it doesn't have to be negative all the time.
No.
No, you're wrong. I'll give you a clue. The second B stands for B.
Is it G for G?
Yeah, the second G stands for G.
Is it Freebie, the last one?
Freebie is the last one.
Yeah.
Blair's
Blair's BG Freebie.
Yeah. That's exactly right. Well done, you. Very good. Yes, the answer I was looking for was Blair's BG Freebie. This is the claim that the Blair family's New Year break at the Florida home of the Prime Minister's hero, apparently, BG Robin Gibb, was free of charge, an allegation strenuously denied by Downing Street. What is the problem with him getting a free holiday off Robin Gibb? Who among us would not dream of such a thing?
That's his whole problem, is he's holidaying with people like Cliff Richard. Why doesn't he go and stay with Tom Jones, get laid and cheer up a bit? He's only hanging out with Robin Gibb because he's the only person in the world who's got a worse legacy than him.
Why does he have to go and stay with a celebrity at all? Why is he still doesn't he realise he is himself famous? You can't have it. You have to hang out with these people. It's quite impressive to be Prime Minister. It's probably better than being one of the less good Bee Gees.
That's there's only 3 of them.
So one of them's dead, best one dies first. That's the rule in pop.
You've got to be careful. You've got to be careful, David, because the big BG is terrifying. He's like 7 foot tall, sings black music in the voice of a castrated white boy, and as each of the other BGs dies, he becomes more powerful.
I think he looks a bit like Aslan as well.
So he himself cannot die.
Yeah. Is he not the dead
He's been
one?
known to... He actually hides in wardrobes at IKEA, just frightening kids.
The one in the middle who looks like Jesus is still alive.
Yes, yeah.
One of the other ones has died. And the other of the other ones is a friend of the Prime Minister. I'm just learning the news.
I think you've got a point about the good ones dying first, because Cliff Richard's still alive. How? It's just incredible. I think he's a big Christian. Maybe God is putting off having to meet him.
Too much of a fan, isn't it?
Yeah.
Tony Blair actually only met Robin Gibb through Cliff Richard. Obviously, Cliff was pissed off with Tony always coming to stay with him, trying to palm him off on somebody else.
Is there a danger that Robin Gibb opened his door and saw Tony Blair and Cherie and whoever else was there and just had that moment of, Jesus, I didn't actually mean, you know, when you're in Miami.
Hello. He wasn't actually there. That was the only reason he invited Blair round, wasn't it? He said, oh, come and stay. We're actually not going to be there until New Year's Eve when we'll all be pissed. It won't matter anyway.
Can you imagine singing Old Lang Syne with Robin Gibb?
With Blair on sort of, you know,
Jamming.
even if you want the worst mental image, apparently he's into an open relationship with his druid wife.
Yeah.
So imagine that as a foursome. Sherry, Tony, druid wife. Yeah, exactly. That's putting you off your tea now, isn't it?
The way that he puts it was quite, you know, they said, we like to cruise, we like to watch, which sounds so much nicer than dogging. Which is, you know... So, imagine that, I was thinking about, imagine that. Imagine being at an orgy and having sex with someone and being watched by a Bee Gee. How weird would that be? What's the decorum there, all right?
Yeah. Especially if it's not even the good Bee Gee.
Your brother looks like Aslan.
Then from the cupboard behind you, shaking.
Makes you think, has anyone been to an orgy? What's the etiquette there? Yeah. When you're getting watched, you make polite conversation, you just get on with the job in hand.
Yeah. How many number ones have you had?
Yeah, exactly. Would you start...
By number ones. By number ones, we mean the charting of records.
Yeah, if you like that, that's a different room. That's a different room. Sorry,
not in here, mate. I put down some plastic sheeting in the other one if you want here.
It's that whole thing with Blair, though, with his musical taste. You know, so you know that not only is he a mass murderer, but he's planned his atrocities with some really bad stuff on in the background. Yes, bomb them, yes, poison the reservoir. Everybody was kung fu fighting.
Wouldn't it be great next year if Brown stays with the Wu-Tang Clan?
What are politicians clamouring to condemn this week?
Oh, it's Saddam's death.
It is the hanging of Saddam.
They couldn't have made it more undignified. They couldn't have made it more undignified if they'd hung him from a swing ball. You, Saddam? No, yes!
But there was some good news, wasn't there? Because the actual charges against him for his second court case, they've been dropped.
They've been dropped.
So that was good of them. Yeah. They were thinking of charging him for those as well. Double death, maybe, but no.
At worst, a mixed week for Saddam Hussein.
I'll tell you, 2007's not gone well for him so far.
How many of you actually watch it on YouTube? Just genuinely.
Oh, yeah.
No?
It was amazing.
It was horrendous. It was disgusting. I only gave it 2 stars.
It's true.
It was actually John Prescott was the person who came out and was the person to condemn it. But that's pretty bad if the only sort of moral conscience in your nation is a man who has done things to his body that has turned his internal organs into patty. A man who couldn't wear a tie and a belt on the same day or he'd turn into sausages. He's the moral heart of our country.
Well, what's really interesting about it, everyone was really upset about Blair going on holiday with the Bee Gees, but this week there's actually a law going through that gives the major oil companies in the world 75% of the profits in Iraq for the next 30 years. And you kind of go, well, that's the thing to get angry about. That's sort of proof that the war was illegal, isn't it?
Yes, yes, it is.
It's not desperately funny.
Sort of, in another way, it's also the proof that the war was kind of worth it. At least we got something out of it. Thousands of soldiers just to murder some beardy guy. Now, oil, that's worth a lot of money, I've heard.
Let's see him say that in front of a load of Guardian readers. Kill him! Throw organic beans at him! I'm too weak. I reckon it would have been good just to have put him in the Big Brother house. Imagine that. don't know if you've seen it, it's been rubbish this series. I've got day 3, Jermaine as Saddam and Lou walking towards the diary room.
What would he would have come in through a trapdoor in the ceiling?
It would have been worth it just for the surprise on his face.
Yeah.
Hang on. Wait a minute. What's Jay's mother doing here?
Miami House.
At the end of that round, the winner at the end of that round, I'm going to give it to Russell, David and Andy. Our next round is called Between the Lines and features Hugh and Frankie. Would you please make your way to the press pit? In this round, one of them takes on the role of a person in the news addressing the media, while the other translates what they really mean. Frankie, you are former UN Secretary-General Kofi Annan, making his farewell New Year speech as he hands over to his successor. Hugh, you will tell us what he really means.
Welcome to the United Nations, the world's most respected peacekeeping authority. As it comes to the time where I hand over to my successor, I must reflect on the fact that we have had many successes.
We came first in Channel 4's 50 most useless organisations. I got to meet Jimmy Carr. Humbling.
Naturally, we have been keeping an eye on things in Iraq to see how they are going.
They seem to be going really badly.
During my tenure, many people have become better off.
My son has become a millionaire.
It is ridiculous to say that the UN is overfunded.
As I said to my helicopter pilot when I sent him to the dry cleaners with my cat's waistcoat.
Many of us here saw the 9/11 attacks coming.
They flew right past the window.
I will always remember the first words that George W. Bush said to me.
Yo, boy, park my car and don't scratch it.
Very good, well done. Point for you and Frankie now. Now we play a round called Stand Up and Joke Off. This game... This game involves Mark, Andy, Frankie and Russell. So if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This is a stand-up challenge. Our random news generator contains a bank of topics. We spin the wheel and when it stops, anyone can step forward and try to make us laugh about the subject it's landed on. The winner is a team. I judge who produced the funniest material. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. The first topic is airport security. Who wants to give in that? Mark.
Hey, I find it very stressful, the amount of security at the airport these days. All these announcements, ladies and gentlemen, at this time of maximum security, at this time of height... What do they mean, at this time of maximum? When's it going to stop? Ladies and gentlemen, I think they've gone. If you see a mysterious package, shake it! I tell you what I really hate, though, airports, those metal detectors you have to walk through. I went on holiday, well, in fact, I'll tell you, I went to Hong Kong, and I always set the metal detector off. Beep every time, beep, beep, beep. So this time, walk through it, nothing, no beeping. I was so relieved, I went, yes! Which doesn't help. If anything, that weakened my position slightly.
Well done, Mark Watson. OK, let's spin the wheel again. The subject is leisure. Who wants to come in on that? Russell.
I don't quite know how that signifies leisure. How has that old man got her? That's a joke. Anyways, we've got more disposable income now than ever, right? And this is quite an odd story, but my mum recently bought a hot tub. Now, I don't know if anyone else... It's quite exciting when your mum gets hot. You put it at the bottom of the garden, you get quite giddy, and then you're in it, and then you realise you're actually just outside having a bath with your mum. And it's a very... You've got no recollection of how to behave, right? And I've got a slightly lazy eye, so my mum's like, are you looking at my thighs? No! It gets freakier. My dad jumped in, my brother jumped in, my sister jumped in, and two of our family dogs leapt into the pool, right? So we're all on the edge, like really British, terrified, we're all naked. Dogs are just going around like that. Having the time of their life, right? And my mum just chose this moment to embarrass us, just looked up and went, hey, guess what? She wasn't doing a dog impression, that would have really. She went, guess what everyone in this hot tub's got in common? I don't know, Mum, what? That's a dog hitting me, right? My mum looked up and went, everybody in this hot tub has sucked my tits.
OK, that leaves us with Andy and Frankie. The next topic is... It's Britishness. Do you want to come in? Mr. Parsons?
The photos.
Yes. Britishness. For those of you who require more than just a setup to a joke, there's only two things we like, aren't there? Huh? Moaning and queuing. And why do we like queuing? So as we can have a bloody good moan about it. How long the queue is, how slowly it's moving, and how those rude foreigners have pushed in front of us because they don't have any decent concept of what a good bloody queue looks like.
There you go, Andy Parsons. OK, Frankie, let's see what you've been left with. It's science.
Scientists have just built the world's biggest ever super collider, and they're doing an experiment to find out what makes up protons. I hope that if the experiment's successful, the whole of our reality will dissolve and a big sign will come up that says, Level 2. I always wondered, you know that woman that had the face transplant? See if she gave you a blowjob, would that technically count as a threesome?
Thank you very ladies and gentlemen. I think in that round the points go to Russell and Andy. Everyone come back. Our next round is, if this is the answer, what is the question on the board? We have 6 categories. David, which one would you like?
Transport, please.
OK, your category is transport, and the answer is between 10 and 15,000. What is the question?
What's the price of a season ticket to London from anywhere in Kent?
With a young person's rail card.
By how many runs did England lose the last Ashes test?
Is it how many people in England are secretly elves? It'd be fun though, wouldn't it? Imagine that. I'm an elf, really? Yeah.
You think on sofas all up and down the country there are between 10 and 15,000 people going, no! Pack the tiny bag!
Do they all watch Mock the Week? All the elves?
All the elves.
Yes, big fans, big fans. Love satire, love satire.
You better watch out, because
You seem to
if
know a
the
lot
big
about-
Bee Gee switches the TV on right now, he's going to think you're taking the piss.
And that's the last thing we want to do in this show.
Is it how far do Ryanair land from their stated destination?
Is it according to school dinner, ladies, how many minutes should you give pasta? Is it how many push-ups could Jesus do?
Or is it how many people, when they make a cup of tea, feel compelled to put the tea cozy on your head?
That's just one, Russell.
I do it often, I agree with you.
It surely doesn't count if elves do it. They're naturally going to do it.
Still
Did you
people,
hear
he's
that?
out Elvis.
Dora says, down with you, like, kill him!
Is it how many Saddam lookalikes did they hang the same day just to make sure?
I'll give you a clue. It's not going anywhere.
Oh, it's to do... Is it how many bits of luggage are left at Heathrow?
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
Very, very good, yes. The question I was looking for is how many items of luggage were estimated to be stuck at Heathrow Airport after recent flight delays? This is the estimated size of the unclaimed baggage mountain accumulated at Heathrow over the festive period. Many of the suitcases contained elves. I can't back it up.
Oh, 10 to 15,000.
Bloody best place for them, if you ask me. Yeah.
Oh, no, he goes again. Unbelievable.
What caused BA's luggage mountain?
One of the things they said caused it was the fog.
Why can't they fly in the fog? Because the only thing I find comforting about plane is that thing where they go, oh, it's all done by radar. I mean, the idea that the pilots are actually going, oh, nearly hit that one.
But the baggage mountain's not actually at Heathrow, is it? Because they're sending all the bags to Milan.
Yeah, that's
right. To get them sorted out.
Yes, the international sorting depot for luggage is in Milan. They're flying thousands of bags to Milan to find out they need to go back to Peckham, and they fly them back again and then send them to a
And there's
taxi.
a danger in that because the bags, when they get back, will have accumulated so many air miles on their own. They just want to go somewhere else.
Your bags will upgrade while you're left.
How depressing would that be if your bags had a better holiday than you? Just sauntering through the door. Hello, hello.
In brand new designer clothing, I've been to Milan.
I'll take an espresso.
My bags in that context, I take it you mean luggage and not testicles.
Depends what you pack for your, depends what you pack for your holiday, Frankie. Just a lovely image of you swinging,
check
going.
your testicles in. If I just take them onto the plane with me.
Not if they contain more than 100 millilitres of fluid. Aside from the luggage mountain in transport issues, what else in Britain is the highest in Europe?
It's the cost of going on our trains, our train fares.
Your train fares are the highest in Europe, apparently.
Yes.
Yeah.
Although not per minute, because they take so long to get anywhere. Actually, as a place to sit, it's relatively economic.
They're not apologetic about it. That's £91.12. How are you paying for that? Well, I've sold a couple of things.
The standard saver return now from London to Glasgow is £98.20. You can fly to Barcelona for 40 quid. Who on earth would pay 98 quid 20 to go to Glasgow? You fly yourself out to Barcelona for 40 quid. Whoever you're going to see in Glasgow, you fly them out to Barcelona for 40 quid. And you spend the first £18.20 on sangria.
But in the long run, basically, Glasgow's going to depopulate, isn't it? It's going to be a ghost town in 10 years.
Well,
Everyone's gonna be
especially
in
now that we've
Barcelona.
heard that there's sangria in Barcelona. The place is just empty.
The good thing about a train is you always know you're 5 metres away from someone who's crazy and willing to share. Do you know what I mean? Do you mind if I sit here? Not at all, go for your life. I've written a book. Oh, nice. Where is it? On my belly.
On the train down this week, this is true, there's a Scottish guy trying to chat up a girl on my table, and they're sort of flirting, and she's a medical student, and she's got this book of, like, case histories and stuff, and she goes, oh, could you help me so I can try and diagnose you? And he goes, OK. And he goes and looks at a case history, and you'd choose something light, wouldn't you, if you're flirting?
You open light, yeah.
He closes the book and goes, I would appear to have infected diarrhoea. And that phone number disappeared over a series of descriptions of his bloody turds.
There's such genuine lunacy on, like, and the great thing, like, I come from Bristol to come to the show, and it's great because you arrive in London, first thing you hear, do not approach unattended packages. Beware, there is a bomber in your mind. You know, in Bristol, I genuinely heard this the other day. Just come over town, here, don't feed the pigeons. Just sums up. Just seriously, Dave, he's got a point. Don't give him a Snickers. It's wonderful.
You also wouldn't fly into Bristol now in case there'd
that's
be
right.
a small smattering of drizzle and your sheet glass runway.
It just shows you, though, because they're always saying, oh, don't worry, if we have to crash land on water, it'll be fine. You know, there's whistles. There's never been a successful landing on water. Everyone's always died, but don't worry. And then they go, oh, Bristol, it's a bit damp.
One lady actually said, one lady genuinely said, I don't know why they just don't get a giant hairdresser. Hairdresser, hairdryer, you fucking read. That would have worked if I'd have said it properly.
Presumably the giant hairdresser would have a giant
There we go.
Provided she didn't smash up the terminal building with her giant cone.
At the very least, she could have plucked the airplanes out of the sky and then gently just laid them to rest. You could just stand there catching planes and drawing them down.
Too many of our giants become hairdressers. That's the problem.
A fine note. Winners of that round are Frankie, Hugh and Mark. Now we come to our final quickfire round called Scenes We'd Like to See. This is for everyone, so if you can make your way over to the performance area, please. I call it ideas for scenarios we'd love to see, and the performers come in with their suggestions. OK, here we go. In the week in which the government called for stricter driving tests, things you wouldn't hear on a driving test.
When I slap the dashboard with my forehead, I'd like you to crawl out of the wreckage and fetch help.
OK, when I give you the signal, I want you to wind the window down and call the cyclist a wanker.
Right, when I say go, foot down, straight through the jewellers, get where you can.
You made one mistake, sir. A Pine air freshener doesn't cover up the smell of a dead hitchhiker.
Well, if she doesn't get up, you've definitely failed.
Well, at least we know the airbags work.
When there's nobody else on a motorway, you should always drive in the middle lane, just in case you fall asleep, you've got a bit longer.
If I fail, can I still keep driving my taxi?
Me in a car. Can't believe it.
On my signal, I'd like you to mount the pavement and kill my ex-wife.
OK, our next topic is what the Queen didn't say in her Christmas message.
Yum, yum. I've just eaten a swan.
And now for an impression. They call me Mr. Bombastic, fantastic, kiss me on the butt, they call me Mr. Romantic.
Are you paying too much for your car insurance?
It's been good to spend some time with my family. And Harry.
As usual, after this, we'll be watching The Great Escape, and as usual, we'll be supporting the Germans.
This year, I am in an unusual location. I'm in a cave with Osama bin Laden.
Don't tell anyone, but I'm actually an elf.
I've had a few medical problems this year. I'm now so old that my pussy is haunted.
OK, at the end of that round, points go to Frankie, Hugh and Mark. Everyone sit down. And that is the end of the show. This week's winners are Frankie Boyle, Hugh Dennis and Mark Watson. With commiserations to Andy Parsons, David Mitchell and Russell Howard. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next week. I'm Darragh Green. Good night.
More mocking next week, and the new series of Room 101 is here on BBC Two tomorrow night at 10. Get another dose of comedy tonight from the channel that launched Mock the Week, BBC Radio 4. Tune in at 11.